Restoring Men and History. Good one. J.K. Rowling states, freedom of speech and belief are at an end in Scotland if the accurate description of biological sex is deemed criminal. Watch the stand encouraged by J.K. Rowling. I'm currently out of the country, but if what I've written here qualifies as an offense under the terms of the new act, you can see the tweet, I look forward to being arrested when I return to the birthplace, and I love this, of the Scottish Enlightenment. Isn't that great that she injected the Scottish Enlightenment to this? And with courage. And we should come back and do the Scottish Enlightenment once we get through the founding. But cheers for J.K. Rowling for standing up for the truth, for women, for really freedom and freedom of speech, which we care about here. Come on over to the freedom side. It's good here. If you like this message, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Thank you. And what is courage? Mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty, according to Webster's. She has it. We want you men to have it. We want you to have courage so you can stand for truth, your wife, your children, your friends. Freedom, freedom of speech. And she's been fighting for truth for a long time now, willing to risk all for free speech, for women. This is not about feelings of certain people or J.K. Rowling. This is about the destruction of men, women, truth, and family. J.K. Rowling has showed resilience. We want you men to have resilience. She is a great example of continually getting back up after being knocked down by all these people. Well, she may have not been knocked down. She may not let it bother her. But the point is, attacked, and she keeps withstanding resilience. Another good virtue to have. So in this video, you've got resilience and courage showing through J.K. Rowling, standing for an important truth for Western civilization. Without truth, we cannot carry on. Without freedom of speech. And she has stayed in the battle. To destroy the truth, some use, John Wilson, what do they use? Saul Alinsky from his book, Boycott Her, Destroy Her, Destroy the Person. That's the goal of many cultural Marxists, destroy the truth, destroy the person. How do they do it? Well, it's in Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. Pick the target, freeze it, personalize it, and polarize it. Saul Alinsky, attack the person because they can't win on ideas. They just have to attack the person. We want to win with ideas on the freedom side. J.K. Rowling had courage. She stood for the truth and women, and factions have attacked her for it. For reality. For just stating simple truths. So today we applaud J.K. Rowling and her courage in the face of fire. Some cultural Marxists, and that is their goal, are trying to destroy truth, sex, everything. With the men can be a woman thing to destroy family. They don't even want you to be able to say, that's a man. No, you're a man. No, you're a woman. Even if it is to help them. Because they don't want that fought in the public discourse, right? They want the public discourse shut down because we have the truth. Men are men and women are women. And that is it. And that is fine. So here's a good piece about the Scotland law. Let's take a look at it. There are factions here in America that are also working on hate speech on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. Take a look at Texas, what's going on there. Different kinds of hate speech, but nevertheless still hate speech laws. Again, we want freedom of speech to freedom. We're pushing for that. Scotland's Hate Crime Act comes into effect today. This was published recently. This is this article. J.K. Rowling tweets, well, we're not into the article yet. Women gain no additional protections, of course, but well-known trans activist Beth Douglas, darling of prominent Scottish politicians, falls within a protected category. Now, let's get into this piece now. Federalist.com, J.K. Rowling dares Scottish police to arrest her for breaking law that makes it a hate crime to call a man amazing, right? Going to pass a law that makes it a hate crime to call a man. First of all, we believe in just crimes, not hate crimes. Free speech, not hate speech laws. If you break the law, that's enough. All right? But we'll get into hate speech laws and other because there's a lot of Republicans getting in on this, and we want to take a look at that. By Tristan Justice, and he put together some of their tweets, so we're going to go through them here for you so you can see them. In a lengthy post on X, he says, J.K. Rowling published a series of stories about biological men who identify as women engaged in sexual criminal activity or holding female roles at lead institutions and female sports leagues. You see, go wipe out women, erase them, wipe out men, wipe out family. What? The totalitarians gain power. In passing the Scottish Hate Crime Act, wipe out the truth. In passing the Scottish Hate Crime Act, quote, Scottish lawmakers seem to have placed higher value on the feelings of men. See, we're a big feeling society now. Performing their idea of femaleness, however misogynistically or opportunistically, on the rights and freedoms of actual women and girls, Rowling wrote. Well, if you know the game of the culture Marxist, it makes complete sense. It's not about feelings, it's about ending women, truth and family. She tweeted this out. As you can see, we'll just put this one up. Scottish woman and butcher abducted an 11-year-old girl while dressed in female clothing. No idea why this was not mentioned in court. Of course, she was wearing women's clothing. She's a woman. Being sarcastic there. So you can see the quote. Amy took the girl home and sexually abused her over a 27-hour period, Rowling tweets. Next tweet. But most women aren't axe toters or sex offenders, so let's talk role models. Galay, we'll put her name up, wanted to play on the women's team because of sisterhood, validation, and political visibility. Naturally, she was given some boring cis girl's place. Yay for inclusion. So she's tweeting this. Again, keep women's sports for women. If it's going to be divided, then you got to keep it for women. So here's from the article. The new law enacted in 2021 and implemented Monday criminalizes acts stirring up hatred. Who's going to define that? Who's going to decide that? This is why we don't like hate speech laws. One reason we don't like them. If you break the law, that's enough. Don't need to add to it. Perpetrators under the law can be convicted if found to behave in a manner that a reasonable person would consider to be threatening, abusive, or insulting. Now, today in America or Scotland, I would assume, people are so going to their safe spaces and they get their feelings hurt so much. This is just bad. Going on, local police are giving broad discretion. Now, we wouldn't give police more broad discretion to enforce the law, with apparent victims given deference to press charges. Dangerous again. Those convicted may face a fine and up to, get this, ready? How many years do you think in prison? 7 years in prison. He goes on to say, well, we know her online posts have been condemned as hate speech. 2 years ago, for example, the UK Parliament rejected a petition, here's a quote from the article, deliberately misgendering someone a hate crime on the basis that the act of deliberately misgendering someone is already a hate crime. Again, we should just have crimes, not hate crimes. We can go into that one day. And again, Uniparty, Republicans, Democrats, they all have their causes and their reasons for coming up with certain hate speech laws. But we want free speech. All right. Rowling Warren, the new Scottish hate crime is ripe for abuse. Of course it is. Most that I've seen, hate crime laws would probably be ripe for abuse, right? The new legislation, the one in Michigan, looked very bad. I don't know if it passed. The new legislation is wide open to abuse by activists who wish to silence, and that's what it's really about, right? Silencing us. We'll put the quote up. Those of us speaking out about the dangers of eliminating women's and girls' single-sex spaces, the nonsense made of crime data if violent and sexual assaults committed by men are recorded as female crimes. Get how dangerous that is. The grotesque unfairness of allowing males to compete in female sports. We agree with that. The injustice of women's jobs, honors, and opportunities being taken by trans-identified men. And the reality and immutability of biological sex. Correct, J.K. Rowling. Right, as we said earlier, and we say often, they don't debate the ideas because they have bad ideas, because it's not reality, because it's not the truth. So they have to shut speech down, stop you from saying it, because someone might hear it and it might change their mind, right? After all, we have truth and reality. Men are men and women are women, and those are facts. And they are, as she says, immutable. All right. So the goal has never been to spare the feelings of someone. That it's to wipe out women, erase them, wipe out men, wipe out family, wipe out the truth. Going on. Rowling said she is currently out of the country, and we would go back to this quote we just said earlier. If what I've written here qualifies as an offense under terms of the new act, I look forward to being arrested when I return to the birthplace, you can say it again, of the Scottish Enlightenment, because that's just brilliant. Using the Scottish Enlightenment against them is fantastic. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is backing Rowling's stand, which should not be criminalizing people saying common sense things about biological sex. Clearly that isn't right. Okay. So far left activist, he goes on to say, have attacked Rowling. But you know what? Here's another tweet. If sex isn't real, this is a good one. There's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. She wrote in 2020. So she's been at this a while, fighting, standing for the women and truth. And that is the point, ladies and gentlemen, to erase women. So we're standing for women on the freedom and truth side. Erase women, erase men, erase family. And you have to defeat truth to do that. You have to shut down free speech, because if we tell our ideas and it's the truth and reality, some people are going to listen. So you shut it down, you censor. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives, right? It isn't hate to speak the truth. 100%. It is not hate to speak the truth. In fact, it may save someone. It may help someone. If you're going over a bridge and it's out and you know it's out and you tell somebody, hey, man, that bridge is out, you're saving them. That's an act of caring or love, not meanness, right? Rowling, however, refused to capitulate under the cancellation campaign and has remained defiant. Right, she has. To be fair, when you can't get a woman sacked, arrested, or dropped by her publisher, and counseling her only made her book sales go up, there's really only one place to go, Rowling wrote in 2021. These factions are never content. They're going to constantly advance, and they will destroy people if that's what it takes. You can see on the attacks on her, their way of destroying someone, trying to at least. Yes, and she goes on to say, but now hundreds of trans activists, and we'll put this up, have threatened to beat, I don't even want to say these words, we'll just look at it. You can see it. So let's finish this piece. J.K. Rowling stood for the truth. She stood up for women. She showed courage. She showed resilience. We want you men to show courage and resilience. One person had an impact and made a difference, and you can too, standing for the truth. Thank you. If you like this message, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button.